If Zohran Mamdani continues to ditch the limo in favor of the MTA, on January 1st, he may be walking out of the Brooklyn Bridge City Hall station into the building right across the street, the New York's seat of power. Before taking the office in the building behind me, the New York City Hall in the heart of Manhattan, Mamdani has just a few weeks to assemble a team that will run one of the world's largest cities. New York is home to almost 9 million people. It seems like a cool job to be the mayor of New York, but to take the helm here means that you are responsible for one of the most diverse communities in the world. 4 in 10 New Yorkers were born abroad, and almost half of them at home speak a different language than English. In fact, 800 languages are spoken in New York, so listening to the public debate here is quite a challenge, and Mamdani promised to balance it all. The city employs 300,000 people, runs over 1,800 schools. Its subway rails are 650 miles combined. That's enough to travel from here to Cleveland in Ohio. Every day, 3 million commuters use New York's public transport. 25,000 policemen patrol the streets, and the aged water system delivers 1.2 billion US gallons of drinking water. That's about 2,000 Olympic swimming pools. All that and much more is going to be Mamdani's new responsibility. And just running the city that never sleeps is one thing, but the new mayor has also promised Gotham deep changes, and that's even more work. Let's hear from New Yorkers what made them vote for Mamdani.
My name is Oscar. I was born in Brooklyn, raised all over New York. I mean, he fights for the people, I heard. He's for the people, so might as well, you know. I like that. I mean, he's already in, but I'm saying, I hope he changes the homelessness, and I hope he helps the poor instead of the rich like other people do.
I'm really excited for the free buses. That's something he's really been campaigning about. Also just more rights for like LGBTQ people, like trans, queer people like myself. Like it's just, we need people in our main government that's going to fight for our rights. Also, a hard fist to like ICE agents coming in and like all of that. Like that's what I'm really excited for, honestly. He's even said, I think he did a recent hearing just after him being elected. He said that, ICE will be held to the same standards of the law as anyone else. And like, he said that, and I just hope he lives up to the things he's been saying. And it seems like he is, in terms of his passion for this and his views. So that's like my hope.
This is Morningside Heights, a neighborhood in New York's Upper West Side. We are where the Mamdanis with 7-year-old Zohran moved in 1998 from Cape Town, South Africa. This addressed a misconception about how Zohran Mamdani's political views developed. Some media portrayed him as rags to riches story, an immigrant that came with nothing and worked so hard that he was able to challenge the political establishment of the Democratic Party in its stronghold. Mamdani worked hard, no question about it. He campaigned in the streets on MTA services both over and underground and did one hell of a job when it comes to the use of social media in politics. He reached out to various communities using his youth and unique outsider background of a Muslim and immigrant of an Indian Ugandan heritage to show how different he is from other politicians that were trying to capture the city hall. But Mamdani is not entirely an outsider. Not many migrant families move to the academic crown of Manhattan, as Morningside Heights is called. And the Mamdanis did, because both of Zohran's parents are well-established intellectuals with degrees from Harvard University. His mother, Mira Nair, is a renowned filmmaker, and his dad, Mahmoud, a professor of anthropology and political science at Columbia University. Mamdani admitted that his childhood was largely worry-free and that his socialist political views formed not because of the support he received from the city and the state, but because he witnessed others who weren't able to learn and grow to meet their potential. At 34 years old, Mamdani is a baby when compared to other American politicians, especially those who run Washington, D.C. For example, Donald Trump is building a huge ballroom by the White House where, next year, he might celebrate his 80th birthday. Mamdani's political views are still in development, but the foundations of his perspective focused on support, solidarity, and inclusion were formed here, in one of the most elite parts of New York.
I mean, I think it's a good step for the Americans with what is going on lately. I think maybe it brings back a little bit of hope. So
Yeah, I agree. It seems also to bring a lot of unity, so I think it's good.
for us, we see it as, oh, finally something positive, you know. So yeah.
I work in tourism, and we've definitely seen a decline in trips to the US due to everything going on with Trump and everything. So a lot of people were very scared almost to come, and I think it's starting to pick up a little bit, so I think it's gonna help.
I was watching something, and apparently like a bunch of people want to move out of the city, and I think city's gonna change drastically. I think a lot of people are gonna move out. I guess what would be nice and what Mamdani's kind of promising is that like native New Yorkers will move back in who've been priced out. I don't know if that will happen. Well, I think people are mad. I've been seeing like outrage on like Facebook groups and stuff. So I guess what I'm saying is some people will move out and some people will move in, which I guess is always happening in New York. But
I think that the problems due to his win come from outside forces, people who already are already against socialist policies, who are against, LGBTQ people, against immigrants. If you're already against these groups of people, then yeah, you're gonna hate this, hate that he's the new mayor. Like working class and people who are really struggling, the marginalized people, I think we're gonna see more protections and a better life in New York with him.
I think no matter who would have won, New York is screwed. We're not in a good place. And matter of fact, if you live in New York and the state of New Jersey, you're not going to have a good time for the next few years, I don't think. There's just too much going on. There's too much back and forth, too much hidden agendas. And, the little guy is going to get screwed.
An important context for Mamdani's victory is that he is going to be the first Muslim mayor of New York. A sign that a city wounded by Al-Qaeda's terrorist attacks that killed almost 3,000 people in 2001 has now healed, and the vast majority of New Yorkers embraces openness and rejects divisive anti-immigrant stances that often target Muslim communities in the US and worldwide, citing 9/11 as an argument. But the image is not all pretty. Throughout his campaign, Mamdani faced severe Islamophobia and racism as he campaigned in English, Spanish, Urdu, Hindi, and Arabic. In the end, voters proved him right. The multicultural approach allowed him to reach a broad spectrum of people and defeat Andrew Cuomo, the former Democratic governor of the state of New York, who ran as an independent and was even endorsed by President Donald Trump.
I just think New York has been really in the dumps with a few mayors we've had recently, and I just think that we need more progressive policies and just a younger face, a diverse face in government, and even the changes he's been doing recently, I'm just really excited.
I watched all of the debates really closely, and I thought that not only are they competing on who's going to be the mayor, but they're also kind of competing who kind of has the most aura, you know what I mean? I feel like to be a politician in America, you kind of have to have a certain amount of cool points. It's not even to do with policies. I feel like that's not all that people are looking for. They're also looking for charisma. They're looking for in knowledge, and I feel like that was a large part of what Sliwa and Mamdani tried to win on, because Sliwa's whole thing was I've been here for so long. You guys can find pictures of me back in 19 whatever doing the same exact thing. That's kind of part of his personal branding with the red hat. He's been wearing that red hat for decades. He's so recognizable. And I feel like that worked really well for him. And if you call his campaign, his wife picks up. I feel like that's actually kind of a nice break from, you know, like being really divided from politicians. And same with Mamdani. Like, I feel like what he had going for him is he was like, this is my favorite restaurant in Queens. This is my favorite restaurant in Brooklyn. Stuff like that. So I feel like, yeah, I think what really stood out to me about this election is like how much like cool points really matter in politics.
What happens in New York does not stay in New York. The results of mayoral elections here have an impact on the entire United States. Guess whom Mamdani addressed when it was known that he won? You probably got it right. He challenged President Donald Trump. I know you're watching. I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up, he said. We can assume Trump and his people did, and the White House strategists are now analyzing back and forth how Mamdani's rise reshapes American politics. This is because since the Democrats were humiliated in last year's presidential election, only the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, was able to mount a serious challenge to Trump's political offense. Newsom and his team made the US laugh with a series of social media posts mocking the president. Gavin Newsom is a white, silver-haired American in his late 50s, an ideal person to run for the White House in 2028. Zohran Mamdani cannot run for the presidency as he was not born in the United States, but he adds another star to the new constellation of the Democratic Party. 34 years young, the new mayor of New York is expected to support and give a much-deserved break to the veteran Democratic left-winger, Senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders, who in September turned 84. New York has always been democratic, and for the first time in a year, you can feel that the city is excited about politics. During Harbinger's stay here, I had the privilege of seeing some Broadway and off-Broadway shows, and each time a bit of politics made it to the room. In Legend of a Show, Hamilton, where Yorktown was sung, the line "Immigrants, we get the job done" was met with loud applause from the audience. In Stranger Things, The First Shadow, New Yorkers cheered and clapped in answer to "The United States government can go to hell." Mamdani's victory is definitely an interesting moment for the Democrats, but it all depends on whether he delivers on his promises. And at the moment, Mamdani is at odds rather than cheered by the party's establishment. So support for him might be in short supply. Klara Hammudeh reporting for Harbinger's magazine in New York.